Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. So in today's video I'm going to be reading the whole Hunger Games series, including the Ballad of Songbird and Snake. I have never read this series in my life, which yes, I know might seem shocking because it has been a popular series for so long, but this is going to be the first time I'm reading these series and I've heard so many good things about the books. I watched the movies a couple of years back, but I don't really remember much about them, but I'm so excited to finally get to the book, because I have been wanting to read these for a while and I've just never got to them. So obviously I'm going to be starting off with the first book, The Hunger Games, and this video is also a collab with Donna from Mom's Books collection, and I'm so excited to do this collab. I would highly recommend that you check out her channel. She does amazing book videos such as like reading vlog, book hauls, TBRs, all those fun book videos. She also does live streams for like reading sprints, and I highly recommend them because they are so fun. So yeah, check out her channel. I'll leave the link for her channel in the description. So yeah, let's just get right into reading The Hunger Games. So I made it up to part 2 of The Hunger Games, and I could definitely say that the beginning is quite slow, like slow beginning, but the writing style is very easy, and I could say like the story, like the plot is moving quickly. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I am really enjoying it so far. Sorry for the awful lighting. The sun is just beaming. But anyway, yeah, I am enjoying it so far, and I am enjoying the storyline. I am actually enjoying the characters, the plot. I'm really enjoying my time with this, so I am going to continue reading it now, and I'll give you all an update when it happens. Okay, so I have finished The Hunger Games. This didn't take me long at all, maybe like 2 hours or so, but I would definitely say there are slow chapters, but the writing's so easy and simple, and the plot is easy to follow, considering it's like, I think it's more of a dystopian than fantasy, but you know, but it is also YA, so I think that might be also why I'm finding it quite easy and fast to read. But I'll go into more depth because I made notes while reading it at the end of the video with the rest of the books. But I did really enjoy this, and all I'm going to say is I would recommend, and I'm glad that I've finally started the series, because let me just say I got a lot of FOMO from this series. Like when people talked about it and I'm like, I haven't even read it yet, but I'm glad that I'm finally reading it. So now I am going to move on to the second book, Catching Fire, and so I'll speak to you all soon. Okay, so I've got to chapter 16 of Catching Fire, and again, this one is still so easy. The plot is really gripping, like the storyline's so gripping, because I feel like it's better, like more is happening, which makes sense because it is the second book in the series, but I feel like so much more is going on, and it's more like packed with information and action, which obviously, like I said, is good, but it's not like complicated either, which I'm also loving. Obviously, I believe that's because it's YA. I'm finding it like really easy to understand and digest. At first, with like The Hunger Games right at the beginning, I was finding it a bit difficult, but this one, because obviously it's the second book and I'm carrying on from the storyline, it is easier. So yeah, I am enjoying this one. I am going to maybe finish it off because I don't think I have much left, and then I'll do an update. So I finished Catching Fire, and this is also a 4-star. I'm going to talk about it more at the end with The Hunger Games, but I did really enjoy this, and again, this is also another one I'd recommend, and I would definitely say this is the book that is like better than the first one. I don't know, just because I feel like more happened in this one. obviously a lot happened in the Hunger Games, but I just feel like there was more action in this one, which I really enjoyed. But yeah, I'll talk about it more at the end. Again, I wrote notes while reading it, so I think tomorrow I'm going to pause for today, or maybe I'll read some more later, I don't know, but I'm going to pause and then I'm going to start Mockingjay. I've heard some people say that this is their favourite, but then most people say that this one was their favourite, which I understand. But yeah, I am excited to find out what happens in this one. Okay, so it is the next day, and last night I did end up reading all of Mockingjay, and I obviously didn't do any updates because it's quite late, but I would definitely say that with this one, I still really enjoyed it, but less than the other two. So I would definitely say like maybe a 3.5 star for this one. Again, like I said, I still did really enjoy it. Obviously, I read it in one sitting, but I just feel like, I don't know, I can't really say less happened. I don't know what it was with this one. I just didn't enjoy it as much as the first two, and obviously the first two were 4 stars. So that is that book. I'll go into more detail later. And then I did read a little bit of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, but not much because obviously it was late and I, just got started. So I am going to finish that tonight. Wow, today. So that is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to read some of that and I'll get back to you. Okay, so it's very early, but I thought I would give an update. So yesterday I did end up finishing the Ballad of Songbird and Snakes. That's such a long title, and I rated it 3.5 stars, and I decided to up Mockingjay to 4 stars because I sat on it for a bit. I kind of did the last update and kind of rated it straight after I finished it. Well, not straight after, but I didn't really think about it much. And then I filmed it because obviously I went straight to sleep after I finished that and read a couple of pages of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, so I didn't really get a chance to think about it. And as I thought about it, I was like, okay, I did really enjoy it. And then compared to this book, I was like, yeah, it's definitely better. So this book I rated 3.5 stars because I would definitely say the pacing fell off near the end. It was going all right. I wasn't a big fan of it, but then I just felt like it just kind of went downhill from about, I don't know, 75-80% of the book. And so that is one reason. I feel like also I just wasn't big on the storyline for this one. I don't know what it was, but I think also I found it quite hard to understand, which is shocking considering I was fine with the other 3 books. So I couldn't tell you what the problem was there, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, that is that update. Okay, so I was actually going to wait until tomorrow to do the overall wrap up, but I thought I'll just do it now. I just saw it while it's fresh and I've got the notes and stuff. So with the Hunger Games, I wrote quite a few notes because obviously it was the first book and I was really analysing it. So with the Hunger Games, the writing is simple and the storyline is easy to follow, which I think I've explained. I think I did explain that. But obviously this is a YA book, so I'm trying to, put that into consideration as well. Obviously it's going to if it's a YA book. Then I put the world building begins simple and then continues to unravel more throughout the trilogy, which is true. So the more you get through the trilogy, the better the storyline is and the better the world building, just everything gets better throughout. And that's what I love about it. It's not it's just the same throughout all books. It does get better and better. And I feel like the writing somehow also gets better and better. Also, something I think I did mention is the chapters are a bit too long for me, but I think it's okay within the story because the storyline is so good and gripping that you don't really notice. But I just don't like long chapters in books, and so that is a negative thing for me. And so I think overall the plot is very fast paced. If you want a fast-paced book, maybe a book that will get you out of a reading slump, I highly recommend this trilogy. I also just want to point out that I'm on neither side or team for Gale and I think you pronounce it as Peter, because I think Katniss is stronger and better on her own. I don't think she needs any of them, if I'm being completely honest. I am neither team. I'm being honest, when I first started the trilogy, I was like, okay, Gale. But the further I got into it, I was like, okay, no. I think she's stronger and better by herself without either of them. And I'm happy with that decision. I also noticed that I didn't mind the love triangle in this. So if you've been here for a while, you know I absolutely despise love triangles in books. I don't know what it is, just not for me. But with this one, I think I didn't mind it so much because I wasn't rooting for any of them. Normally love triangles would bother me because you're either rooting for one of them and like it's just an anticipation of like who they're going to end up with, and the fact that there is another person, you know. But with this one, because I wasn't rooting for any of them, I didn't really care much about it, and it wasn't like one of the big plot lines for the story. And then I did put that the writing was a little slow in the beginning, but it's written with just enough action to keep me on the edge, which I absolutely loved. It. Yeah, like I've said so many times, it was slow at the beginning, but there's so much going on, so much action, so much like character development and everything that I just feel like it goes perfectly well with like the story and like the pacing and everything. Then for Catching Fire, I only put 2 notes, and that is the writing in this one is a bit more clear and the storyline is gripping. The characters are so much more like developed and memorable. I feel like there was so much more character development, you felt more connected to the characters, which then makes them more memorable, if that makes sense. And that is what I love about it, is how much plot development, character development happened in the story. And I feel like there was more action as well, which I really enjoyed as well. Then for Mockingjay, I only put 1, and that was it's slower with slightly more detail, which I liked, to be honest. So obviously with this one, it's like pretty much similar things to what I've already said. That's why I only put 1 note. I would definitely say the pacing of this is slower throughout the book, but you do get more detail. Now, I don't know if that's like a positive thing or not. I suppose it is, but I feel like the more detail would have been better in the second book, because obviously this is the last one. I suppose the more detail is like how it ends the trilogy, if that makes sense. I don't know. But that note for that is it's definitely slower paced, I think. I don't know if that's just me. And then for The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, I obviously put that the pacing is a little off and that it gets like slower, if that makes sense. I don't know, I've already said that. But then I also did put that I think a lot of people might not like this book for the fact that it's more light-hearted, goofier maybe. Like it's not took so serious as like the Hunger Games, Catching Fire, and Mockingjay. I just feel like it's more, I don't want to say light-hearted, that's like wrong. I just feel like it's a bit more odd, you know? I don't know how to explain it properly, but that is those 4 books read, and I can't believe I did it pretty much in 48 hours, 72 hours? I can't remember. I did it very quickly at that, and I honestly didn't expect it, but because it was so fast paced and everything, it was just so easy to get through, and the story was so gripping. Like once I finished one book, I just had to pick up the other and then the other, and I was gripped. But I don't feel like it's a 5-star series for me, because when I look back at my 5 stars, I obviously love them better than this. I still really like this series. I wouldn't say I love it, you know, but I would definitely recommend if you haven't read it already. I mean, I would say I'd be shocked if you haven't, but like here I am just reading it, so I can't really say that. But yes, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check out Donna's channel and her video. Yeah, I will leave her channel and the link to her video in the description, so make sure you go and check that out after this. But thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and hope to see you in my next one. Bye.